Alberta, a place of mountains, beautiful, beautiful land, oil, and probably the greatest rivalry in hockey history. Welcome to Rivalries, Battle of Alberta edition. Calgary versus Edmonton is a hate like no other. And as a Calgarian, I can tell you, when you're playing Edmonton, the entire city feels it. We hate Edmonton. I grew up hating Edmonton, even though they were absolutely dog crap for most of my life. But there's that salt in the wound from the 80s and something that they did back in the past that still makes you want to hate them. It's for superiority of the greatest province in Canada. The Battle of Alberta started in 1980. In 1979, the Edmonton Oilers came into the NHL with the merger from the WHA, and they struggled at the beginning. And I love saying when Edmonton struggles. This is the best part of my job. But in 1980, the Atlanta Flames were struggling, and they relocated, giving Alberta their second team. Keeping the same name, the Flames, the Calgary Flames were born. And for the first time on October 22nd, 1980, the first ever Battle of Alberta happened in Edmonton. We're not going to talk about the result of that one, but the Oilers did win 5-3 at home. But I'm just saying, on December 30th, that same exact year, the Flames took business at home, winning their first Battle of Alberta in Calgary 5-3, the same exact score. But the rivalry didn't really start there. It started in the 80s, where Alberta literally ran the Campbell division. And from 1983 to 1990, an Alberta team was in the Stanley Cup Finals. Alberta ran the NHL at that time, with the exception of the incredible Montreal Canadiens. But the first ever playoff matchup in the Battle of Alberta would be in 1983. I don't want to talk about this one. Yeah, you guys see the screen. This I'm not talking about this one. No. Okay, but 1984 would be different. They meet again in the playoffs once again, and this time the Flames would push it to 7, but the Oilers would take care of business, and they would head on to win their first ever Stanley Cup with a skinny, probably not well-known guy named Wayne Gretzky. I will never say he is the greatest player to ever play hockey because I have a Flames jersey on, but there is really no debate at this point. But finally, in 1986, a gruesome 7-game series between the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers would lead down to a Game 7 and have one of the most infamous moments in NHL history. The game is tied 2-2 in the third period, and Steve Smith, on his birthday, scores an own goal to send the Calgary Flames to their first ever Stanley Cup Finals. And what a time it was in Calgary. Again, the Flames did lose against the Canadiens in the finals, but that is one of the greatest moments in Flames history because it hurt the Oilers so much. And man, do I hate when it hurts the Oilers. In 1988, the Oilers would go on to get their revenge and sweep the Flames. They'd go on to go win the next cup and their final cup with Gretzky, because in that summer, owner Peter Pocklington would trade Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings. Now, this is where my favorite part of the story begins. 1989. It's the first round of the playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers are still an incredible team. Jari Kurri, Esa Tikkanen, they still got a bunch of their stars. They just don't have their superstar player in Wayne Gretzky. And who do they have to play in the first round? Wayne Gretzky and the Los Angeles Kings. But the Oilers have an incredible start. They go up 3-1. But Wayne Gretzky chews back at them the entire time, and they come back and beat the Oilers in 7. The Flames the next round would go on to beat the Kings and go on to win their first ever Stanley Cup against the Montreal Canadiens. And fun fact, the Calgary Flames are the only team to win the Stanley Cup in Montreal, not named the Montreal Canadiens. And finally, the last real Battle of Alberta until the current age was in 1991, where another gruesome 7-game series, a painful fight to the death, would end up in a Game 7 overtime winner. As much as I hate to say it, play the clip.
And now Tikkanen circles at center. 3 points in the game, a couple of goals for Esa Tikkanen, 6 in the series. Shoot, scores! Esa Tikkanen has won it for the Oilers.
Then would be probably the worst time for Alberta sports, especially in hockey, because the late 90s were not really that kind, as the Flames and Oilers started their rebuild. But the spark of the Battle of Alberta just wasn't really there. The Oilers had Sean Horkoff and Alex Hemsky, two guys that honestly were not Stanley Cup contenders, even though they did make the finals in 2006. And in 2004, the Flames won the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry, they lost to Tampa Bay, according to the NHL. Everyone knows the puck was in. The puck was in 2004. Bettman just needed fans in Tampa. Okay, that's not what's happening right now. But the Flames were good at the time. It was just there was no spark in the Battle of Alberta because these two teams never really had a chance to meet in the playoffs and kill each other. But finally, the spark would reignite in 2020 with two players that are known very well in the Battle of Alberta currently, Zach Kassian in the Edmonton Oilers and Matthew Tkachuk of the Calgary Flames. That history can be leaved for later, you know what I mean. But we're going to enjoy the Matthew Tkachuk of the Calgary Flames because these two sparked the Battle of Alberta back to life. Everyone was fighting. Like, we had a Sean Monahan, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins fight. Two guys who barely fight. We even had a goalie fight. When do you see that in today's NHL? Never. You would never see that in today's NHL. The Battle of Alberta was back at its finest, at its peak. And guess what? Oh my god, the 2020 season is going so well. We are going to have a Battle of Alberta in the first round. No. A pandemic strikes, and as always, it had to ruin the one great thing we had, man. The greatest Battle of Alberta of all time, and the NHL redid their system so Edmonton and Calgary could not play against each other in the playoffs. Well, that's sad. But 2022, the Flames are probably the best team in the West. They are absolutely rolling right now. They take on the Dallas Stars and beat them in a Game 7 OT winner. Johnny Gaudreau scores the winner, and they're going to the second round. The Edmonton Oilers have another 7-game fight to the death with the Los Angeles Kings. But guess what? In a 2-0 win in Game 7, they go to the second round, leading to what everyone wanted, the Battle of Alberta. And man, did the first game live up to the hype, because that 9-6 scoreline was one of the most fun games I have ever watched. It was so entertaining. I couldn't take my eyes off. It was the greatest moment ever. We don't need to know what happened for the rest of that series. Like, you know, I don't think I even want to show it here. Yeah, it was not great for Flame side, but yeah, the Battle of Alberta is still one of the most historic rivalries in the NHL and arguably the best in the NHL. Even during the Heritage Classic, when the Flames are absolutely trash and the Edmonton Oilers, even at the time, they were doing horrid. And even though they were Stanley Cup contenders, they were doing horrid. The fans still showed out and the hate still lingers no matter what. You can know when it's Edmonton, Calgary. Everyone and their mom knows here when it's Calgary. Here in Alberta, it's eat, sleep, hockey, and then death. And the Battle of Alberta, you have to choose a side. This is true good old-fashioned hate. And I can't wait for the next Battle of Alberta series where my Calgary Flames will whoop the Edmonton Oilers. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you want more videos like this. Let me know which rivalry you want me to dissect next. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you guys next time.